You know, why just the leaders? Now, they ain't round up all of our people yet, just the leaders. 9. President goes on national radio and television and tells black folk and the Hispanics, y'all got 1 hour to stand down.
All right.
If they don't listen, down to 0 hours, all units under regional commands into the emergency. Engage. Now, here's a note. Zero Committee report. And this was called the Zero Committee. And of course, talking about zero population. Survey shows that during a 6-year period, production created 9 million objects. What in the world is that? Or 1.5 million each year. Production could not dispose of the containers, which proved a bottleneck. However, that was almost 20 years ago. And remember, this was done in 64. 20 years before 64 is 44. 1944, 1943, 1944, that's when the Holocaust took place, y'all, in Nazi Germany.
Yes.
And what happened was the furnaces that Hitler used to burn these people weren't hot enough. Right. So when they start throwing the bodies in the furnaces, the bodies weren't burning up fast enough, and it caused the furnaces to get clogged up. So notice what this report says. We suggest that vaporization techniques be employed to overcome the production problems inherent in King Alfred. What does that mean? Well, as a result of this recommendation, they began to build what we call high volume or nuclear powered trash incinerators. And these incinerators burn 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Y'all listen, steel, depending on the kind of steel it is, melts between 2,600 and 2,700 degrees. Now, if steel will melt at that temperature, why do you need a incinerator that burns 5,000 degrees? So that the furnaces don't get clogged up again. When they take those people who they detained and gas them, put them to sleep, Lord have mercy, put them on these conveyor belts that roll into this furnace. As soon as they get in there, poof. Now I know it's not good news. Preacher, I didn't come here to feel sad today. Hey, if you don't know, you're going to really feel sad. Because the biblical text says it this way: my people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. Don't say it can't happen, people. Don't say it can't, because on February 21st, 1942, Executive Order 9066 was implemented. And on February 21st, 1942, every Japanese American in this country was arrested and detained. And the law stated if they were 1/16 Japanese, they were to be locked up too. When the Japanese, the war, World War II. I don't say it can't be done. But see, Japanese got sense. We bombed Japan. Now Japan owns us. Isn't that deep? 60 years later, Japan is one of the richest countries in the world. They own more property in this country than anybody else. They didn't walk around with a sign saying, "We shall overcome." Japanese didn't do that. Japanese said, "I'll tell you what we're going to do. They bombed us. We're going to send our children to their schools." Now you go into hospitals and look at the majority of the doctors. Majority of the doctors are now Korean slant-eyed doctors. Yeah, buddy. What I'm sharing with y'all, brothers and sisters, is a reality. I'm giving you this information, and there's a whole lot more that I could give you here. But what you must understand is the most important point here is that your government is depending on you being ignorant. Did y'all hear what I said? They're counting on our ignorance to implement their program. I'm not going to let that happen to the best of my ability. I'm going to tell it. I used to say that when I was growing up. I'm going to tell it everywhere I go. And that was a lie I was talking about. I'm going to tell it if don't nobody want to hear it. I'm going to tell it. A friend of mine used to say, I got to preach, and we used to say that, I'm going to tell it. And, I think about that, man. I was committed to the promotion of that lie. Now I got to be as committed to the promotion and dispensing of the truth that will set my people free. You got to be committed as well. Government is counting on your ignorance. And see, they want y'all to fight back. That's what they want. See, the sooner you fight back, the quicker it gives them an excuse to declare a national emergency. You understand what I'm saying? They've been stockpiling weapons, y'all. In fact, y'all remember I told y'all about the VMAS project? Brothers and sisters, do y'all not know now that every major police department has a VMADS unit now? For those who don't know, VMADS, VMADS stands for Vehicle Mounted Anti-Denial System. It's a weapon now that's mounted on top of the Hummers in police departments, and it's an actual microwave beam. So in other words, now, all they got to do is see a crowd of black folk, aim the beam toward the people, and pull the trigger. And it sends a microwave beam into that crowd of black folk. And what's really deep about it is the black folk are standing there and they start burning, cooking from the inside out, just like a microwave oven. But you can't run because you don't know what direction the beam is coming from, because it's invisible. It's called, don't take my word for it, it's called VMADS. Look it up, go verify it. They didn't make VMADS for white people. They will never use the VMADS in Leduc. They'll use it in North St. Louis though. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Now, what can we do? I know this is going to sound a little flimsy as I close. What can we do? Look at the person next to you and say, first thing is learn how to pray. And see, y'all might not believe in prayer, but let me tell you something. Prayer is a powerful tool. Prayer will give you guidance and wisdom, because when you pray, number one, you quiet yourself. You humble yourself and you perk up your ears to hear what God has to say to you, either through the Spirit of God in you or through the voice of your ancestors. I'm a firm believer, brothers and sisters, that God is not going to allow his people, those who will hear, to meet with extermination. We have come through too much. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And we're still here. We are the number one wonder of the world. Not the pyramids, we are. Pyramids was the number one wonder, but see, they're trying to, we're still here to tell about the pyramids. We ain't supposed to be here to tell about it. We're supposed to be gone by now so they could claim the pyramids as theirs. And here we still are. So I'm giving you all this information today because I love you. I love your children. I love our future. My people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. Ephesians 5:11 says these words, and I close. Ephesians 5:11 says, have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Y'all got that? So when I see the deeds of darkness that's been designed for the elimination of our people, my job is to expose that which will bring genocide and destruction to our people. It might mean the difference between your children living or dying.